Hello, I'm Jeff Phillips, and welcome to this week's webisode. If you have a new business or even just a new business idea, today's guest will be very interesting for you. Today I have James, and James, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jeff.
Why don't you explain to the viewers what it is that you do and who you are?
All right. I'm James Thomas, and I'm an attorney with the law firm of Thomas Law Firm, PLLC. We handle several different kinds of legal matters. In particular, we do intellectual property work, which is logos, trademarks, copyrights, that sort of thing. And we're also a litigation firm that handles all manner of business litigation, including IP litigation, but also some non-IP litigation, such as access for people with disabilities under the ADA.
Okay. Well, a lot of things we could talk about here today, but I have a few questions that come to mind. The first one is someone that has a new business out there, or say a new business idea or a logo. What do they need to do, or can they do to protect themselves?
Yeah, I often get that question, Jeff. They'll come to me and they'll have a new business idea, and they say, before I do anything, I want to make sure I'm protected. And unfortunately, there's not one area of IP that always protects a business idea. So the first thing I have to do is sort of break down the idea into its parts, and then we can look at it. If there's an invention, for example, a tangible invention that they've got a part of, then that would be patent law. If they've got a logo or a brand that they're really interested in marketing, then that would be trademarks. If it's content, such as a book or online material, then it might be copyright. And then, of course, there's trade secrets, and there's a combination, and we try and put that together to help them protect that business idea and the business plan that they're trying to go forward with.
Okay, very good. So, as a business owner or a new business or even an established business, do I need to register my name and my logo?
Another good question, because I get that a lot. You don't have to register to have protection. If you do not register your name and logo, then you'll have protection to the extent you're using it. And when I say to the extent, I mean to the extent geographically, and also to the extent you use it on different kinds of goods and services. The one thing about trademark law is if you're considering whether or not somebody is infringing your rights, the courts will always look at all the facts and circumstances surrounding it. Are they using it on the same goods and services? Are they using it with the same customer base? That kind of thing. So you always will have those rights. Now, if you register it, you get more rights. You'll get national rights. You'll get rights that are based on your filing date. From that date forward, you'll have rights all over the country, whether or not you've used it all over. So, and then you also get some presumptions if you ever find yourself in court for any reason. There's some presumptions that the registration will give you that will be very useful for the lawyer who's trying to defend or prosecute that action for you.
Okay. So let's say, for example, I know that there's another business out in the United States that has the same name as my company does. So if I register, does that mean they have to stop using their name, or how does that protect me?
If you have registration, then anyone who has adopted a mark after your filing date will be junior to you. So when you move into that area with your registration, then you can stop them. You wouldn't be, let's say you're just working in North Carolina and there's someone in California. Until you move out there, you probably couldn't stop them in court. But once you move out there, if they started after your filing date, they would have to stop, and you can make them stop, and then you would have your rights to use when your business reached California.
Okay. Now, what's up with the McDonald's name? I know that's, if you have a last name McDonald's and you can't even start a business with that name.
Well, there's no absolute right that you can always use your name. So if you were going to adopt a business that sells hamburgers, you're going to have a problem. Part of that also, though, is probably an enforcement strategy by McDonald's, the company. They've chosen to be very aggressive about it. And what that does is if you're a new business and you're thinking about using this name that might have mixed something with it, then you're going to think of McDonald's, and it might scare you off. And I think that's part of their intention, is to use that as sort of keep people at a distance so that no one's infringing their rights.
Okay. All right. Well, interesting. All right. If only we could be as big as McDonald's. Right?
That's right. That's
okay.
right. Exactly.
All right. You mentioned in the beginning about disabilities. and litigation for people with disabilities. What do you mean by that?
Well, are handling cases involving people with disabilities who want access to public buildings or public services, or even private businesses that are open to the public. So we assist them if they need access to those facilities, if there's physical barriers. But there can also be other kinds of barriers in a service, particularly, let's say you've got a Department of Social Services and you have parents coming in who may have disabilities. Well, they need to make accommodation for that and not use those disabilities as a basis then for, maybe denying custody or visitation rights. So we try and help the people with disabilities to secure those services on an equal basis to people who are able-bodied people, as we're called. And we do a lot of that kind of work as well.
Okay, fantastic. All right, well, there's a lot of good information. We had a short amount of time to go over it, but if someone wants more information, more detail, where could the viewer go?
Well, we have a website under thomaslegal.pro, but it's broken down between our litigation practice and our intellectual property practice, and I believe you'll be able to see that at the end here. Please feel free to go to our website and contact us.